Someone gave me an idea in my comments section and they asked, would you please help us mortals how to become better at games so we can play on harder difficulties. So the question of this video is how you become a better gamer, how you become better at the games you play in variety of genres, or better to say in all genres included. Let's go. There are plenty of ways to improve. First of all, maybe it's your keyboard and mouse that are issue. Some people like mechanical keyboards more, some like smaller keyboards, some like big buttons, some like small buttons. You can't know until you test it out. It's also the matter of gamepad. It's also the matter of a mouse. Like smaller mouse, faster mouse, and like slower mouse, slower DPI, and so on. And same can be said about gamepads. Some like, for example, like me here, heavy gamepads, big gamepads, and some like light gamepads. Okay, so the first thing is what you play on. Okay, same can be said about the screen you're looking at. Some find the perfect screen of 21 inches to play the game, and I used to find it perfect too, and even now when I got 27 inches screen I find it huge, and I kinda like my gaming more on 60 frames and a smaller monitor than right now, but that's life. Basically I played on everything, from Commodore and classic joysticks, okay, all the way up to Nintendo, Sega Mega, PlayStation 1, the very first PC 186, then Pentium 1, PC 486, and so on. So I tested every type of game on every type of system, from old DOS to Windows 10. How I did it when I was a kid in early 90s. Commodore 64 games, if you can find them and if you can emulate them, they were brutal. And I say brutal, I mean brutal. Rig Dangerous, Paperboy, Tanks, The Last Ninja, Commando, Roger, Rambo, Indiana Jones, then later on a PC with Doom, with all of those old school games, okay, Caesar 3 and so on. When I played them, most of those games didn't have any difficulty, they were just brutal. Contra, okay, things like that. You got lives, you got 1 life, 2 lives, 3 lives, finish the game if you're able. Okay, and when I was a kid, I used to sit down in front of the TV for 3, 4, 5 hours a day, playing, dying, and repeat until finally I beat the game. Sometimes it took a day, 2, 3, 5, a month, but I never gave up until I beat the game. And that's how you become a better player. First of all, you imagine there is no other difficulty. There is only the hardest difficulty available. That's my mindset when I play games. I don't even see other difficulties. I always ramp up for the hardest difficulty, even if it's not fair, even if it's unbalanced, I go for it. Okay. And the second thing that's gonna make you a better player is to finish what you started. No matter how hard it is, if it takes 5 freaking days to kill a boss, you're gonna play for 5 days. And after you're done with 30, 40, 50 bosses that you wasted 5 days on a 50 different games, there's gonna be a moment when you're gonna encounter a boss that's harder than all previous bosses, but you're gonna do it in 5 attempts on the hardest difficulty. Why? Because you practiced, because your mind has adapted, because your fingers adapted, because you are ready and you do not think anymore how it's the hardest difficulty and how it's unfair. You think how to beat it. You have a goal, you have a reason to play, you have challenge. That's the mindset. You want to win. I have the same mindset when I'm playing cards, when I'm betting, when I used to bet, for everything, okay? When I watch sports, when I played basketball, I hated to lose. And truth to be told, I rarely lost anything in my life because I was competitive. There are two sides of me. If I find something boring and not challenging, I don't even compete. I do not play. I do not enter with anything that has to do that's easy. Not only games. If I find something challenging, I'm gonna spend time practicing and practicing until I win. No matter how many times I fail, I'm doing it until I win. So for the games, when you transfer that logic to games, it's the mindset again. It's how much you like to win. Most of the games in the last 10 years, 15 years, I can easily say, are a lot easier than they used to be in 90s and early 2000s. A lot easier. And people just don't realize it. People believed how Dark Souls-likes are the hardest games right now on the market. It's like an epitome for a hard game. No, it's not. It's easy, man. It's really easy, right? Those are not hard games. People are just with a different perspective now than they used to have. For example, the game you're looking at here, Aeterna Noctis, is like 15 times harder than all Souls-likes combined. From Demon Souls, Dark Souls, to Bloodborne, Sekiro, and Elden Ring. So all of them combined are easier than this, what you're currently looking at. Are there still hard games? Yeah, but they're rare. If you wanna become a better player, you're gonna play older games. You need a strong mindset, you need to be persistent. It's gonna happen over time, okay? How do you tell if player is good or not? Good players are not those that do speedruns. I also used to do a lot of speedrun for games, sometimes out of competition, and I always won. And when there is no competition, I usually do it for myself if I find the game fun. But you do not think how some player is good because he's speedrunning Dark Souls. That's the matter of repetition, exploiting bugs, exploiting OP builds, okay? Plus, people are usually playing on a slow mod to learn the movesets and then they put it on a normal mod once they stream. Those are all tricks, okay? But how can you tell if someone is a good player or not? Those that play the game for the very first time, blind run. No matter the game, no matter the genre. If you see them doing it well on their blind run, stomping bosses on a first attempt or few attempts to kill a boss, or how fast they resolve puzzles, problems, issues, how fast they adapt in real-time strategies, for example, then on Metroidvania, then on a first-person shooter, and then at the end on a CRPG, okay? How fast they adapt. That means that they got experience, okay? And I'm also talking here from my perspective. Very few games can actually surprise me, because I got 35 years of experience in video games, in all genres. The only way to get better is how I did it, through a lot of practice. You need to enjoy what you do. You need to be able to play games on everything, keyboard, mouse, joystick, gamepad. You need to test all out, alright? You need to start what you finished, and there should never be an easier difficulty than the hardest difficulty. Then you finish it on that. Even though it's gonna look like a suffering for 50 games, on that 51st game, you'll discover that you're stumping it. Now, believe it or not, physical activity will also make you a better player, because how you feel physically will directly impact your mental health. Okay, so how I did it usually. When I was a kid, I used to play football, basketball, then I come home, play video games. Okay, my back doesn't hurt, feel good. When I was an adult, I used to go out, drink, that's also physical activity, stay late at night and so on. I don't wish to say what I did, but basically, plus the gym, I was physically active, which means I'm also mentally strong, alright? And for the games, you need to be focused. If you're gonna play on the hardest difficulty, you need to be focused. If anything distracts you, like playing music in the background, neighbors yelling, cats meowing, dogs barking, all of that, okay, you have back pains, leg pains, all of that impacts how you play. Everything. All distractions impact how you play. So remove all distractions. Make sure you isolate yourself when you're playing, so you can actually and properly enjoy the game you're playing. Same can be said for any other work or for anything that has to do with focus, even studying. Now, there are players that only like to compete in speedruns. There are players that only compete into new games, okay? How fast they can finish on a first run. And there are players that like multiplayer games. I tested it all out, okay? And usually with multiplayer games, there's a big level of toxicity. Players are just... I mean, that's how people are. In 80% of times, you're gonna play with and against trolls, no matter what game you pick, or with and against kids. People are just freaking hard to deal with. It's not the game that's hard, it's people that's hard. And I would advise to stop playing multiplayer games. If you want a challenge, give a challenge on your own to some game that you like. Finish it fast. Be smooth while playing. Try challenging yourself. Finish without losing health. Something, okay? 100% the entire game on the hardest difficulty, you know. Aim for the achievements, for example, that are hardest to get. That's what I'm doing mostly. I don't care about achievements in games at all, okay? I only care about the hardest achievements. Those that have like 0.1% and below. That's what I care for, those achievements. If I see something on 1, 2, 3% or higher, I don't care if I get it or not. That's my point of view. It doesn't have to be yours. The main question here was how to become a better player. And I believe that I gave all tips that I can. I would say that 90% is mindset and practice. Also, one very important thing, and what I think is extremely important, it's who teaches you to play. Who are you looking at? Okay, I cannot teach, for example, Faker how to play League of Legends. I can watch him and learn, okay, because he is the master at League of Legends. And I'm fully aware of it. When I watch him, for example, and when he dies, 90% of people will start with their philosophy, how he made a mistake, he should have done that, he should have done this, it would be different if he was more careful, so on and so forth. I don't look at it like that. I had an honor to play against him once. I haven't missed a single CS, and the fucker ended up with 50 above. So those that want to criticize someone like him or any other pro player never played against them. Once you get your ass across them, you're gonna realize that you don't know a freaking thing about the game you're playing. And that's the reality. Everyone makes mistakes. I look only from betters, okay? What I can learn from someone while watching him. So never allow players that are on your level or below your level to teach you something about the game. You can communicate with them, but when they start teaching you, just know, find someone that's actually pro at the game he's playing, okay? That you know that he's good. How I see myself, for example, I used to be a Diamond 1 in League of Legends when Master and Challenger did not even exist. Okay. And I played with pro players, with and against them. I used to be second worldwide Crusader in Diablo 3. I used to win a lot of competitions in speedruns for a variety of games. Okay. So basically I like to master what I play, but I wasn't having fun. I start having fun when I start playing different games, non-stop. I was switching games and I was having fun. So how do I see myself now, for example? I love doing blind runs, and I love to see my stats at the end of every game and how I did everything on a first attempt. After I'm done, then I replay some stuff, I think about it, I write some scripts, and I do guides by properly playing and testing games on the hardest difficulty available, all genres included. From platformers, adventures, puzzle platformers, I don't know. CRPGs, RPGs, third person, first person, doesn't matter, all genres. I take my time and I revisit and then I make guides. So to sum it all up, check your keyboard, check your mouse, check your gamepad. If they fit, always play on the hardest difficulty. Imagine that no other difficulty exists. Learn from better than you. Watch them. Don't ask for advice. Watch them. Take notes if you have to. Don't ask. Just watch. Watch and learn, no matter what type of game you play. Make sure that you watch the right guy. That's also extremely important. Never give up. Stay well mentally and physically. And you're good to go. Even those that claim that they were not born for gaming and just not for that's why they play on easy. No, they just made their peace that they're gonna do it like that. Because they never tried the other way around. They find the reasons. Okay, oh, this is time dragging. This is irritating. This is getting on my nerves. Why would I do it when I can do it like this? Why harder way when it can be easier? 1 million reasons. Alright. And then they end up and watch someone that does it on the hardest difficulty. And then, on top of it all, a lot of them also like to talk about it. Okay, to give you advices about it. How I see it, everything reflects the real life. Whether you're gonna play basketball, football, video games, cards, bets, I don't know what, it doesn't matter. Everything reflects a real life. How you do in a stupid video game also reflects a real life, because that's you, that's how you play, that's what you do. Whether you're gonna ignore those facts or not, that's up to you. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll be seeing you on the next one.